Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Beautiful day out here. It is March 5th, Friday. I didn't even know what day it was. Got a few different things going on today. I got the tire back for that 1256 back of the truck here. Just put a tube in it. So that's ready to go back on. I'll probably put that on today. And then I think I'm going to hook up the chopper again because I'm trying to chop some bedding tomorrow. Let's see. So right now what I'm going to do is go pull that governor off of that B, that governor housing, and see what's going on in there. Probably try to get a different one or get it fixed. Show you what's going on with my seat here on the 830. I don't really know. I just got it sitting off to the side now, but not really sure why they got rid of this seat because I put some air to it yesterday. The airbag holds, so that's working pretty good. I got this. Probably going to laugh at me because I'm using wood, but it's easy to work with. It's cheap, and it works for application like this. So what I'm going to do, I've got to get some longer bolts, though these aren't going to be long enough. But I've got this block here. This is where the old seat mount was that I took off. And then I've got a 2x, well, I think it's a 2x8 or 2x10 that's going to bolt on top of this and run forward, and I'm going to bolt the seat to that. And then it'll be anchored here. So I haven't been really videoing that because just kind of a lot of tedious, monkeying around, measuring, stuff like that. So I'll just kind of give some updates on that. But anyway, I'm going to grab a pliers here out of the garage. And we'll pull that governor housing off. And then go get that figured out so I can get that B back in action. And the 560, I got the carburetor. I think I said I got that sent out, so that'll be getting rebuilt for that. I'm going to pick up different exhaust. We're going to put a different, Paul wants to put a straight pipe on there, so I got an outfit in town. They're going to bend up one of them. I think that'll look pretty nice on there. So anyway, I'll get in the shed here. I just got this B parked in the old barn, but for those of you who are new to the channel, this is our little B Farmall. Was having trouble. This whole pedestal in here was full of antifreeze and oil and all kinds of crud, and the belts were slipping, and well, the radiator was leaking really bad. So I got the radiator fixed. I pulled this front pedestal off. I got it all cleaned out. And I was going to do the crank seal as well, but I did run it some, and it didn't seem to be leaking. I thought it was, but it didn't seem to be. If it is, it's not leaking very bad. So from what I've heard, it's a big job to change that seal. And you also run the risk of cracking this pulley because it's like press fit on there. So I decided to just leave that alone. But I've got the radiator back. I got new belts for it. I did get a valve cover gasket I have got to put on it because I know that's leaking. But this governor housing, this throttle shaft, whoops, I got the pin out of that. There's a lot of play in here. This bushing in here is shot. These don't really run in oil. They just, whatever oil the timing gears kick up, but it was leaking a little bit out of there. And the throttle was acting up a little bit, so I'm going to pull this off and see. We got a kind of a tractor salvage yard not too far from here. See if they've got a good used one or this bushing is good. Otherwise, I'll have to try to get that shaft fixed and get that new bushings put in there. But anyway, I got this all cleaned off, so I'm going to pull the bolts and the other end of the linkage here, and we'll get it pulled off. The bolts are different lengths too, so I'm trying to kind of keep them kind of segregated there so they so I know which is which. I mean, they're quite a bit different, so shouldn't be too hard to tell. The weights, they seem to be moving okay. Actually, this bearing here even looks all right. Probably just grease that up a little bit, and I think that one will be okay too. And I don't remember, I did look up some on the interior stuff in here, but I should probably look again. We'll go out in the light and I can kind of show you a little better what it looks like in here. Alright, I got it here on my pickup now. We'll see if we can, I don't know how well we can see in there. There's a lot of play in there. Everything else, I don't know, looks okay. This one does have some play in it too, but springs and everything look all right. So I'm gonna go see what they got, I guess. Otherwise I'll have to pull that out and probably get some new bushings, but it feels like it's worn pretty bad, so I'm thinking it might be beyond the bushings. So that could be a kind of an expensive project there if you got to make a shaft and everything. So we'll run and see what they've got down there, if they got any that are better than this, because I'm sure that's where the governor worked fine, but it if you wanted to idle it down all the way, it wouldn't idle down all the way anymore. And I'm pretty sure this is where that was coming from. So we'll get that loaded up in here. I'm gonna go put that tire on that tractor before I go, and then we'll run down and get that. All right, I put this tire on. I did pick up a couple of new lug bolts too, so they'll all have the same size head on them. Whoops, I'm gonna drop that one in the mud. So that'll be nice. Eliminate that problem. There we go. It'll be good as new. All right, now we'll go down and check on that governor housing. See if they got one down there. All right, well, we got just leaving the parts yard here. I found a bunch, but nothing any better than what I had, so I'm gonna maybe try to get a bushing for this. But as long as we're here, might as well look over some of the goodies. Wouldn't be a bad baler to have. Disc bind. And a new bale wrapper even. It's always fun to look at that kind of stuff. But anyway, I'm gonna head back home now, and I did get some longer bolts for that seat on that 830, so I got to run into Moose Lake and get a couple things there, and I'll probably pull this governor shaft out. They did have a housing in there that somebody must have had that shaft machined out and put a bushing in there, but so it looks like it can be done. So anyway, I'm gonna probably pull it apart and see if I can do something like that. If I can't, I'll just put it back together like it is. Like I said, that tractor doesn't really get used a lot anyway, but apparently that's a pretty common thing to wear out, because there must have been 15 of those governors in there, and every one of them was just like this or worse. So morning, everybody. Saturday, March 6th, about 8 o'clock in the morning. A little frosty this morning, but it looks like it'll be another nice day. I'll show you in this 830, I got that seat mounted in there yesterday. Looks pretty good. Obviously it's far from original, but if you rode in the old seat that was in here, you'd appreciate this one even more. But turned out good. I've got it mounted on that 2x, I don't know if it's 2x8 or 2x10, and then I've got that bolted down in the back to the old seat mounts. I do not have it bolted to the floor down here. The seat is bolted to the board, but the board's not bolted to the floor, simply because the floor sits right on top of the transmission housing of the tractor. So I'm hoping it seems pretty solid. You know, it doesn't, I mean, the seat obviously has a little movement in it just because that's how it is, but so we'll see how it goes. If it winds up loosening up, I might have to try to make something to hold that front down, but I think it'll be all right. But what I am going to do, I got to head up to town. I forgot to do this yesterday, but I got the air line here for the seat, and that seat seems to be holding air, so I'm going to cut this off and get a fitting so I can just fill it with a tire chuck off the air compressor to put air in that airbag. So that's what I'm going to do now. And then I got somebody coming for a couple bales of straw later this morning, and then I think we're going to maybe try to chop some straw into the barn again and probably get a little firewood. So that's what I'm going to do, get that done right now. Just got done loading some straw for neighbor, and Paul took the 530 case, fed some hay, got back and parked it in the yard, and he told me to come and look at the front rim on here. So I came up here and I got the air all out of it now, but the rim is split. You can actually see it's been cracked here for a long time. I don't know what this rim came from, but yeah, this was all bulged out, and that could have been really bad really fast. So luckily the valve stem cap was one that you could unscrew the core with, so I popped that out quick before it exploded. And so we're going to pull that off, and I guess I got to find a different rim for that. But that thing must have been, it's pretty thin. I wonder if that's old rim was rusty. I don't know that, because this front end under this tractor is not the original front end. I put an industrial front end on here, but I think these rims, because I think I just swapped them over from the other front end, because the ones that were on this industrial front end I put on something else, because this had way better tires. So I don't really know what that rim was from originally, but it's definitely junk. So we're going to put the jack under here and get this popped off and get this fixed. All right, got the trusty DeWalt here. Here, you want to do some expert camera work. Man, that really could have been bad if that thing would have slipped by there. Whew, that could have killed somebody easy. Must have been a John Deere rim. I'm kidding.
But seriously though.
It does have yellow paint.
Of course, that would
Don't tell the millennial farmer I said that.
Of course, that would just mean it came from somebody else, because John Deere made a career out of taking other people's ideas.
Man, that could have been really bad. Glad you caught that. All right, well, now I'll find a different rim and take that up and get that switched over, but I don't think anybody's open today. But now we'll get the 830 fired up, since I got my sweet air seat going in there. I'll use that for the loader. All right, I got my seat pretty much finished here now. I put a just an air chuck end on here. I had it mounted through the back wall here, but I cut my line a little bit too short, so if I raise the seat all the way up, it pulled too tight. So right now I just got it hanging here. I'll have to make a bracket or something for it, or extend the line. But one thing I'm going to do right now before we try starting this, the power steering belt is pretty loose on it, so I'm going to tighten that up. Because with the loader on, especially if you get some weight on the front, it squeals like crazy. So get that tightened up first. Oh man, that sun is always after me. That's one downfall with the power steering on these. It's a belt drive power steering pump, and just a skinny little belt. They should have had one big belt or a couple little ones, I think, because it's hard to keep them tight enough. Probably won't be able to see much in there anyway, but Paul, can you grab me another 9/16 wrench? I didn't realize that one had a nut on it. There's no bees out now. There. That should be a little better. Now we'll see if this thing will start up. One thing, this one here has preheater in the intake. The other 830 doesn't, so this one does start better than the other one, but these older cases weren't known for their real good cold starting ability. But we'll try it out. Battery must be low. Better than I thought it was going to do. I'll probably have people asking me again too, what's with the blue bucket on the intake. All that is, there's a pre-cleaner under there. I was getting trouble with water getting down in the oil bath, so I just put that bucket over it. Seemed to help keep it out of there. So that's all that's on there for. But now that actually started really well, so let that warm up some, and we'll use this for the loader tractor till I get that one going. Actually, I do need to, now that it's warmer, once I get a couple of these other projects done, I'll probably get that 530 in the garage anyway, because that's going to need a clutch. So we'll let this warm out, try it out, try out my sweet new seat, and keep rolling. All right, we'll run out and get the feeder wagon with this since I've got it running. Everybody out of the way. Steering is much better with that belt tighten. I'm not going all the time. It's getting pretty bad. So Paul, do you want the pleasure of driving this Air Ride Comfort King up to the barn?
I think I'll take that off.
Boy, it's nice out again. I will say one thing though, I like this nice weather, but I hope I've been hearing some rumors that it could be a dry year this year, so that makes me a little nervous, but because we didn't really have that much snow here either. But I guess we'll take what God gives us. But it sure is nice now. It beats the 30 below. Just like a Cadillac.